What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on Puff Daddy and his situation. Not really his situation, but what his situation proves, right? And Puff Daddy, to me, proves that absolute power corrupts absolutely. And so that's an old saying, right? And I was just thinking about it, like all of these just terrible things that Puff Daddy is being accused of. Like if he is guilty of any of this stuff, that just proves that absolute power corrupts absolutely. Because I don't think that number one, I think that everything that Puff Daddy did, he was like sanctioned to do that, meaning that somebody, that the powers that be allow Puff Daddy to do these things and to really to get away with this stuff, because who thinks to do things like some of the things that he's being accused of, like the young lady who just said that, what she went through with him and his friends and all. If all of those allegations, if any of that stuff is true, like who would even think to do that kind of stuff to people? As and with the Tupac and Biggie situation, like if he's connected to that, that would have to be, in my opinion, that would have to be sanctioned by somebody higher up, because a lot of people made a lot of money off of Tupac and Biggie. And so if he took it upon himself to get rid of Tupac and Biggie, and it wasn't sanctioned, then he would have been in trouble. That's just like, think about it. Like in organized crime, you like in the mafia and stuff like that, those guys couldn't just go out and get rid of like another. They had to, that stuff had to be sanctioned. You can't just go out and get rid of somebody else that's in the family. You have to have permission to get rid of certain people, because those people might have been high earners. Those people may have been connected to somebody else. So you need it, it had to be sanctioned. And so, and it works like that because people make money off of different, you know what I mean? Those people worth money. Those people bought value. And so, it just because if Puffy was mad or Puffy didn't, he thought that that's how he wanted to handle that situation, it don't work like that, and I don't know how people don't now. Maybe people do know, and people, because Puppy is going to he's I mean, he's gonna take the fall for everything that is wrong as far as like with the entertainment business, like, everything. When people talk about abuse, casting couches, everything that's dark and wrong about the entertainment business. What is those people called? Those the Illuminati and all that stuff is going to fall. He's going to be like the poster child for everything that's wrong with entertainment. But like I said, he would not have been able to get away with this stuff if somebody over his head did not sanction that and tell him that it was okay for him to, he could push the envelope like this. And so those people that he associated with and everybody who took part in these alleged crimes and stuff like that just was like they was just clowns and suckers for real though, because why did they not think that this stuff was going to come back on them? Back in the days, like the biggest thing that record executives or people like him had to worry about was like a sex scandal or something, like a scandal, like it was a scandal like when Barry Gordy had a I don't know, it wasn't a scandal, but it was like it was a lot of talk about when Barry Gordy, people was talking about him getting Diana Ross pregnant. So a lot of, that was the big thing back in the day, you know. But now this, the things that this guy's being accused of, like getting rid of people and trafficking and stuff like that. Yeah, you can't you just can't do that kind of stuff, like I said, without it being sanctioned. And if he was if Puff Daddy had any type of morals or ethics, he wouldn't even be in this situation. Because just because someone gives you they give you like the license to do this kind of stuff, that don't mean you should do it. You know what I mean? It could be a setup, and sure enough, that's what I think. It was all a setup from the beginning for them to bring down rap music, to bring down hip hop, and him and his friends, him and his conspirators, they fell for it. And a lot of people who are with, who are on those tapes, a lot of people who are associated with Puff Daddy, they shaking in their boots, because they know that, you know what I mean? Like, if these people want to come after them, they coming after them, they getting them too, and so, but I think this was all a setup from like I said, in my opinion, it was a setup from the beginning. Puff Daddy fell for it. I always talk about this movie with Eddie Murphy, Billy Ray Valentine, like, and Trading Places, when they talk about how he, how they could take a poor man out of his situation and bring him into an environment and change him, right? And then so they did that. It was off a $1 bet, and so they did that. They changed him, and then when the bet was over with, they wanted to send him back to his environment. And that's what they did with Puff Daddy. They just, you know what I mean? They brought him out of his environment, they allowed him to get comfortable, gave him all this power and all this influence. And then when they got tired of him, now they're sending him back to the environment where he was in the first place. Whereas though it didn't even have to go down like this. You know what I mean? Like, why, if somebody's allowing you to do these kind of the horrific things that he's been accused of, all he had to do, is just not even do it. That's it. If he had some type of morals, some type of ethics and stuff like that, a lot of the things, just because record companies have always been cheating artists out of their from their residuals that they was entitled to, or cheating them like with those 360 contracts and stuff like that, that didn't mean that he had to do that. And he knows that, like, basically, when you black, you just can't do everything that everybody else do, because you're not a part of the Good Old Boys Network, and you'll never be a part of the Good Old Boys Network. And politicians find out the same thing. Like when black politicians get in their offices and they think that they can do the same things, or make deals with construction companies like the white guys, and then they wind up going to prison. They wind up, you got to be on a straight and narrow if you're going to be a public figure like that. And I don't care what, even if you're in a police department, you got to be in a straight and narrow. You can't be somebody who, a police officer. You see black police officers getting caught for taking side deals or doing, and it just don't work. You see black politicians going to prison, like I said, for thinking they can cut deals with construction companies and make money on the side. When that kind of stuff been going on for years with other people in other communities, but it don't work the same way with us. Who else? You need police, politicians, people in the music industry. Man, when like I said, you're a public figure, something like this, you got to walk the straight and narrow, man, because they will not allow you to have ill-gotten gains and then walk away with walk and ride off into the sunset. They will not allow you to ride off in the sunset. Like I said, it don't matter if you're in politics, it don't matter if you are in law enforcement, it don't matter. Like, you are not going to be able to walk away with ill-gotten gains and live that type of lifestyle. And then, if you African American, it do not work like that for you. And these guys keep falling for that nonsense, man. The same old play. So that's my take on it. Like I said, absolute power corrupts absolutely. They gave him this power and this stuff, and he just went wild and thought he could do anything that he wanted to do. And now look at the situation that he in. So I just hope I just hope people learn from this, man, that you absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.